the assassination of Gandhi was justified. What do you think?
Sir,
Because that's a it is a moot. That's
Yes.
a debatable topic.
debatable
right?
topic, yes.
Right.
A debatable topic. But sir, like as per my concern or as per
Because
my,
I'm sorry to interrupt you, because in the politics nowadays, actually there is a big uproar about it, because many people support Nathuram Godse and many people support Mahatma Gandhi, and many people curse Nathuram Godse because of the assassination of Mahatma Gandhi, right? And many people just consider Mr. Nathuram Godse as worshipable, and they admire him a lot. So what's your personal opinion about it?
sir, my personal opinion that I also worship Godse a lot. Yes, I always like praise him.
So what was wrong about Mr. Gandhi?
Sir, I would not actually. I will whatever I will speak in the statement further. I would not speak personally. Whatever I will speak, it will be from the textbook or from the my personal understanding of after reading the literal text. First of all, sir, he was not the leader that who was thinking secularly for the welfare of every Indian citizen.
Was he communal?
He was communal little bit.
Okay.
Little bit, not to more the extent. He was communal. That's why he just accepted the demand of the partition.
Okay.
Yes. And when he just accepted the demand of partition, when he favored the electoral, communal electorate, and when he did not support the Western education system, he completely focused on cottage industries promotion. So it reflected his image that like to which level he is thinking. So Mr. Godse, when he assassinated Mr. Gandhi, so he was the right person, because sir, in Hindu mythology, if Durga ji is killing Mahishasur, so there is nothing wrong in that, because Gandhiji was Mahishasur at that particular time, Godse was a Durga.
Mr. Gandhi was printed on the notes, on the currency, so why was it possible then?
Because sir, I would like to say the nationalism, the spirit of nationalism was aroused by particular Gandhiji only. That is the only reason that he is being printed on the Indian currency.
And still he is admired by many people, so why do they admire? Do they not know this fact? That
Actually, sir, they know this thing, but the people are there who want to like spread their who want to spread their national, like prominent favorite leaders' ascendancy in a market that Gandhiji was the person who was prominent and he was the greatest leader in the Indian political system. But it is not so. There are so many prominent contributors in the political
but
dynamic.
as per my knowledge of history, Mr. Gandhi did not accept the demand. Mr. Gandhi was always against it, and it was like Jawaharlal Nehru who actually had to accept it, unfortunately. But Mr. Gandhi was always against it, because in the history that many people know it, that when Mr. Gandhi got to know about the partition of India and Pakistan, he was very much furiated and he was very much angry with Mr. Nehru.
Okay, sir, I would like to correct. I would like to correct. First of all, sir, Gandhiji was not in a first instant. He was not ready for the partition. But why did he support the communal electorate in India? If he was not favoring the partition, then why did he favor communal electorate? In which Mr. Ambedkar went to Yarwada jail and asked him to just break that unto that fast.
Yes.
Okay, and he broke the fast.
The fast unto death.
Unto that, yeah, fast
Right.
unto that,
Yes.
unto death. Yes, in Yarwada jail. So, because he was supporting the communal electorate and Mr. Ambedkar was against the communal electorate, he was saying, if you support the communal electorate in Indian democracy, then it will be very difficult for the Indian nations to live all together in a greatest fraternity, which Mr. Gandhi could not understand. And when Jawaharlal Nehru came, so in a round table conference or in the what should I say? There is a one Simon Lee Commission. Okay, Simon Lee commissions. So they were the meetings which were conducted, and in which there was a popular demand from the Jinnah's community, in which the majority of the people were Muslim. So the majority of people were asking that if you want to live in India, then you can live in India, but you have to rest the 3 cases to Indian government. That is the telecommunication, or related to the defense, or related to the what should I say? International affairs, that we will be dealing, but rest of the cases will be in your pocket. So Jinnah was not ready with this kind of a memorandum which was signed. So Gandhiji was against this kind of a problem, against this problem.
But don't you think that when there is a partition, then UNO is there, right?
Yes.
And actually there was a demand like 55 crore rupees, and during the partition so many things are there. It is a kind of a treaty. right? So obviously, because when UNO intervenes, so actually you have to meet the expectations set by UNO. And whenever there is a division between two countries and UNO is there, right? So obviously there are certain rules and the regulations, right? So let's say if Mahatma Gandhi had not supported the Muslims or Pakistan at that time, so there was a big possibility then UNO wouldn't have respected India, and UNO also could have been against India, and the image of India could have been maligned at that time.
Sir, UNO, first of all, at that particular time, UNO was the victim of the bipolarity.
Okay.
Bipolarity. And after post independence 1947, as we know that 8% people were illiterate, or the 88% people were like uneducated.
Right.
And one thing is sure, that if UNO had intervened in that particular matter of the partition, then there must be the greatest chances or the bright chances for Indian government or the Indian governance even. Governance. There are two terms, government and governance. And I would like to say that Sir Mountbatten, when he came in India to partition Pakistan and India, so Mountbatten was the person who did all the things instantly, without any kind of a pre-calculative guess. And which was not justified by both the nations or by both the dominions. Okay. So both the dominions came forward and filed a petition in the UNO related to the Jammu Kashmir issue also. That Jammu Kashmir. So Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru was a responsible person who was I would like to say he was the main culprit. That's why we have facing this problem till date, that Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru filed a petition in in UNO against Kashmir, that Kashmir is in our pocket, and if we are going to give a particular territory of Rajasthan to Pakistan, then why should we give our territory to other dominion?
Yes.
Other dominion as a Pakistan. So that was the reason. Actually, I have to calculate some concepts here on which I'm unable right now, because post independence I have to recollect Junagadh and Rajasthan and these Hyderabad and these things territories,
Yes.
through which we went in UNO and filed a petition, and on which the very subjective interpretation came forward in both the dominions' favor.
Okay, that's what you think.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's say you seem to be the supporter of Nathuram Godse. So on that behalf, I want to raise a question that let's say when Mr. Nathuram Godse, with due respect, I would like to ask you that if he was so much passionate, right, and concerned about the country and the people of the country, right, then at the time of freedom, I mean before the independence, then what was his contribution and where was he? First question, I wish you to answer. And the second question, then rather than killing Mahatma Gandhi, why didn't he kill or assassin Jinnah? Third question, let's say if Nathuram Godse, on hypothetical question, if Nathuram Godse had assassinated Jinnah, then what would have been the condition in the country then? These three questions I want you to dwell on.
The third question I would like to apply the subjectivity.
You wanna start from the third?
Yes, sir. Yeah, not from third. I would like to start from the first itself, that you asked where was Nathuram Godse at that particular time period. As you know that he was a media outlet. Okay, he was a media outlet. So he knew the conditions of India, that in which direction India is going towards, in which direction India is going.
Yes.
And he himself knew that Mr. Gandhi was the only face in the nationalism or in the patriotism in across nation, because Gandhi was playing a very major role, because he has incorporated himself in so many different movements. He had incorporated himself in so many different movements of Indian nationalism.
Yes.
For example, Asahyogi Andolan, civil disobedience movement, Champaran. Okay, and so many different round table conferences. And sir, I would like to draw your attention that Mr. Gandhiji was the person who did not participate in any kind of a round table conference.
In any kind of
round table conference, RTCs.
Okay. So what was wrong in that?
What was not wrong? Because all the round table conferences were held in different nations of the world. Okay. So that's why he was not free from the particular.
But I didn't get to know the contribution of Nathuram Godse.
Sir, at that particular time, because I also know that because he was a media outlet.
Yes.
So he knew all the repercussions which were going on in the Indian nation.
Yes.
So he knew that if Mr. Gandhi would have been effective leader in the nationalistic spirit, then there are the very bad chances in future which we are going to face. That's how he calculated whatever he thought, and he assassinated Mr. Gandhi outright.
But Mr. Gandhi somehow contributed in the independence or in the freedom of India, right? So in that calculation, that Mr. Gandhi is considered to be far better than Mr. Nathuram Godse, and everybody knows, and you also must know, Mr. Nathuram Godse is famous just because of the assassination of Mr. Gandhi. Otherwise, nobody even knew that who was Nathuram Godse.
Okay, sir. Okay,
and
sir.
everybody knew Mahatma Gandhi because of the independence and because of his contribution and some efforts in the contribution. Even though, I mean, there is a possibility that I don't say that Mr. Gandhi alone got us independence, but before the independence, he could influence people. He actually fought against the Britishers, no matter what was the way, whether it was right or wrong, but the intention was right. Otherwise, if you, let's say, ignore the intention, then even Sardar Bhagat Singh didn't get us freedom.
Yes, sir.
Right? People just see the intention, right? So what was the intention of Nathuram Godse?
Sir,
Please
yes.
throw light on it.
Bhagat Singh's intention was very different because he
Now I
aroused the
want you to
feeling
talk
of
about Mr. Nathuram Godse and justify.
justify. I would like to, sir, incorporate.
Okay,
Don't
is it
worry.
related to each
yes,
other?
It is related to each other.
Okay.
Like if you just ask about Bhagat Singh, so Bhagat Singh's intention was very different because he aroused the feeling of patriotism among the infantry groups only. And the second thing is that if you talk about Nathuram Godse, so Nathuram Godse was having the greatest intent, like great and right intention towards the nation. Because right now, listen to me, sir, please. If we compare today's scenario or today's regiment, that Mr. Modi has been doing a good work for the nation, as per the so many different majority people are claiming this thing. But recently the 146 MPs were suspended from the parliament itself. So do you think so that it is particularly justified? Let me equate this thing from the previous equation of mine in the statement. So 146 MPs are suspended in the today's history of Indian Parliament or parliamentary democracy. The same thing is also we can equate with Mr. Gandhi. Mr. Gandhi was a prominent leader at that particular time period, in which he was particularly very famous among so many majority. He was in a popular demand. He was in a popular demand. So that's why he thought that whatever I am going to do, it is completely in the favor of Indian citizens or the nation's favor, or there is an integrity which we are going to intact in the future. But Godse was a media outlet, and media outlets are the person who are really very rational people who really think, and he considered with so many prominent media outlets at that particular time period. If I just talk about that, there are so many leaders, sir. Right now, I'm just forgetting the name. Kamaji and
actually, unfortunately, I still could not get any contribution from the side of Nathuram.
So there is no contribution of Mr.
Nobody even knew him before the independence.
Sir, there is the only contribution that he assassinated Mr. Gandhi. It is the greatest contribution.
So on
that
this
we could say,
basis, I mean, just because of the assassination of Gandhi, I mean, is it easy to murder somebody, right? Then contributing to the country, and let's say by the name of communalism, Mr. Anil, try to understand here. By the name of communalism, let's say Mr. Modi is there, fine, and there are so many, there can be or there could be so many, let's say Muslims, suppose they are against Mr. Modi, and because of any policy, NRC or which was that these kind of policies sometimes come, then Muslims are against that. Then what do the Muslims do? They just go like in the Ram Leela Maidan or like that, and they just protest against the government. They do not just go ahead and assassinate the leader. And if they do so, obviously you would condemn. You would condemn, right? So people have right. I mean, what could he do was that he could have protested, and the country had become free, and it was the democratic country.
Sir,
so why did he not? Why did he choose? I mean, why was he so infuriated? Why was he so angry, or why was he so much flared up that he assassinated? That is the thing I want to know. And if he was so passionate, zealous, then why did he not assassinate Mr. Jinnah?
Jinnah, yes.
That is the question.
Because Jinnah was going in his dominion. That's why he was not worried about him. And sir, I would like to say assassination, the case of assassination, the security is very strict in today's era. Okay, no one even though we cannot.
That's why I used this statement. If somebody does so, would you not condemn that?
Particularly,
you would condemn that.
Condemn that.
Let's say if somebody succeeds.
Yes, sir. Sir, I would like to say this thing that Mr. Godse, whatever he did great, because there is a book, particular
Still you
book.
are saying great.
Yes, it is. It was a great stand. Whatever it did, and I would not like to say this.
But please justify how.
I have to justify by after reading, because I have just incorporated or like.
So why
studied-
did you have a prejudice? I mean, if you
Not
didn't read-
prejudice. Not prejudice, sir. I have just studied from these like 12th standards NCERT books about Nathuram Godse. That what was his but what was not his contribution? I could not read that. Okay, but I could read that why he killed Mr. Gandhi. Okay, I could read that. I could read that. Okay, but I could not read that what
could not read.
I could not read that what was the contribution of Mr. Godse before the independence, pre-independence.
Yes.
Post-independence, there have been so many contributions from this kind of media outlet. Okay,
Yes.
because they also contributed, because they also like consolidated or mobilized the spirit of nationalism among the youth of Indian.
Right.
Okay, which was completely very difficult task by the politician leaders, because political leaders
I would actually keep it pending, and I really want you to have a search on it.
Yes, sir.
Right. And then I want you to come up with the contribution, because only then we can actually respect, him a lot.
Him.
Right. In that case,
Yes.
if the contribution had been there,
Yes.
right? Because it is easy to murder somebody, but it is because what Mr. Gandhi did was very difficult.
Very
Everybody
difficult.
could not do that. Right. That is the case. Although people expected a lot from Mr. Gandhi, I mean, because that people expect violence, but Gandhi was not
Against this,
violent.
non-violence.
Yeah, he was not violent, like that. But actually, Sardar Bhagat Singh used the violence somehow. But finally, what was the result? Everybody knows that. Finally, India could not get the independence because of that result, or because of that. Those efforts of violence, right? Because the country had to be united.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes.
That is the case. Okay, Mr. Anil.
Sir, fine.
Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now. Actually, it was nice talking to you by now, and I would be looking forward to your answers on it, right? In future also, in near future. And your preparation about the UPSC is very nice, lovely, because you still have, so many concepts, so many ideas. But yeah, I mean, in the interview, they can actually go in any direction and can ask you any question, right? And that would be highly commendable if your answers are satiable, right? So that was it. Fine. So I'm looking forward to some satiable answers, some more satiable. Many are satiable, right? I was satisfied with that. Okay. Fine.
Yes, sir.
Do you still have something to say?
No, sir.
Okay, then that was it. And we would keep coming like this with many topics or like that. Okay. By the time, take care of yourself.